The day before the big military congregation in Quantico, Virginia, the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, was instructed to assemble all generals between 1 and 4 stars, all admirals, and I guess their support staff, to Quantico, Virginia, to a Marine base down there, and that's going to happen tomorrow apparently. Now the accounts are that Donald Trump will be joining that meeting. Lots of speculation. I did a video on it. My last video actually touched on, the theories behind the meeting, but it seems pretty serious. It's unprecedented to have 800 military leaders, including the Secretary of War, the Secretary of Defense. I think they call him the Secretary of War now. And Donald Trump. I don't know if J.D. Vance will be there. Probably not. I think they got to keep those two guys separate. But yeah, so we'll see what happens after tomorrow. What's happening in my country is nothing short of disastrous. But I want to touch, before I get into that, I want to touch on, for the last time for a while, I'm discombobulated with regards to the Charlie Kirk situation. That situation changes daily, changes hourly. And the speculation, whereas the lapel microphone caused his death, that's been debunked, disproven. So that's out the window. Now on the Jimmy Dore podcast, I don't know if you know who he is, but he's pretty good. He's a comedian. He's a stand-up comedian, but he's also heavily involved in politics. And basically every day on his YouTube channel, he discusses politics. And he came across a channel, more footage of the Charlie Kirk assassination, whereas people, it's not like when President Kennedy got killed and Abraham Zapruder was the only one with one of those film cameras. Like everyone, there's camera footage from all different angles. Everyone had their cell phone cams on them. So this is all coming to the surface now. So the latest credible scenario that took Charlie Kirk's life was a guy, that was standing behind the metal barriers, but he was front row, and he was very close to Charlie. I would say maybe at the most 20 feet. And he was a white guy. He was wearing kind of like a military style short sleeve shirt, rolled up, sunglasses. He was in good shape, and they focused on this guy in the front row. Then they were analyzing other footage of other guys that were apparently communicating to one another, and quite possibly communicating to the guy at the front row behind the barrier. So everyone's seen the video. As soon as Charlie picks up the mic to answer the question, as soon as he puts down the mic, he's dead. Like almost immediately when the microphone hit wherever the table or whatever he had in front of him there. So now they're theorizing it was a palm gun. It's a round gun that sits in the palm of your hand, hence palm gun, and it's got a little barrel that pokes out. And I believe, I don't know where the trigger is, but you just got to palm the trigger mechanism, and it shoots out a 32 caliber rimfire. It's a 32 caliber rimfire, but it sends out a 32 caliber bullet. So from 20 feet away, with a person that's well versed in palm guns, to hit Charlie where the video depicted he was hit, I don't know how hard that would be, to be honest with you. If you're proficient with, like I said, if you're proficient with that type of weapon and you practice with it, I imagine you can become quite proficient with it from 15, 20 feet away. So on the Jimmy Dore video, I'll put it up on the screen, his YouTube channel. You can see obviously a 32 rimfire isn't going to have much recoil, so it's very, very manageable recoil and quite concealable and not that loud. It's got a pop to it, obviously, but it's not a 30-06 hunting rifle, which is immensely loud. I've heard those guns, and it sounds like a cannon. So, and 32 also might not produce an exit wound because it's a low caliber round, and it would do all the internal damage inside Charlie's upper body. didn't want to be that descriptive. But yeah, so the video, it's compelling. I will say that it's compelling. You can kind of see how he did it. The guy that, like I said, was standing in the barrier, he went like this. Soon as he got a signal from the one guy, and Charlie put the microphone down, boom, and Charlie was dead instantly. He died instantly. It hit his, I think it hit his spinal cord. He was dead. So, but that's where I'm at today with Charlie Kirk, and I'm gonna leave it there for now, because this is it's getting to the point where it's ridiculous. The FBI is obviously lying. His wife, his widow, Erica Kirk, I have my suspicions with her. No autopsy was done on Charlie. I don't know if you're aware of that. There was no autopsy, and by all accounts, in the state of Utah, when you're murdered, an autopsy is mandatory. Then he wasn't put in the ambulance. We know that he was immediately taken away by his security team and whoever else was there. And then another guy comes up behind and takes down a camera right away. They don't investigate the crime scene. People are saying, well, they didn't look for the bullet. Well, the bullet could still be inside of him. If it's a 32, they might have the bullet. Then a day or two after, between 1 and 3 days after, they paved over all the grass area where that tent was set up where Charlie was speaking. So this is, anyhow, it's definitely a conspiracy theory. The guy that was up on the roof that they say they have in custody, he didn't do it. There's no way he did it. He's a patsy. He's a Lee Harvey Oswald 2.0. So he didn't do that. So for whatever reason, they pinned it on him. I don't know. Perfect patsy. But that's Charlie Kirk. Now, my country of Canada. Things are imploding in this country. We're in financial dire straits. Our economy's in financial dire straits. We're over 60. We're going to run with this current government. We're going to run over a $60 billion deficit. Mark Carney, our installed prime minister, he has a hard time staying in Canada. He doesn't want to stay in this country because he envisions this country as a post-national country, which means it has no true identity. You'll never see Mark Carney with Canadian flag lapel pin. He wears his Order of Canada lapel pin. If you ever see on his suit, you'll see this. I don't know what it is. It's a white lapel pin, and it's got little dots on it, and that's what he wears in place of a Canadian lapel pin. So that puts me off. And he's been to Europe 5 times since he's been prime minister. He's been to the United States twice, and he's been to Mexico once. And I'm not sure if he's still in the UK today, but when he was over there, he attended, like I said in my last video, he attended the meeting where Keir Starmer announced a digital ID. Then he attended the women's rugby final, the Canadian women's rugby final with England. The Canadian women did very well this year. They made it to the finals, and I don't know if anyone expected that. I certainly didn't. I don't follow it. But they lost in the finals, and that's fine. They did very well, so kudos to them. Mark Carney and his wife were in attendance for that. Excuse me. So Mark Carney was over there, did a couple press conferences, and I believe he did, I don't know if it was a UN speech over there on behalf of the UN, but his wife went and did a speech as well. In a formal setting. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know why. I know his wife is politically entrenched as well. Apparently friends with Ghislaine Maxwell's sister. So she did a speech, and people are questioning why she would do that. Is she traveling with the prime minister on official business? Like, she's not elected to anything. Well, for that matter, neither is Carney himself. So yeah, so that's a bunch. That's off-putting. And so there were some journalists in the crowd asking him questions like, what did you get accomplished on any of your trips? And if you look at these videos of him answering these questions, he hems and haws, and I don't want to use the word stutter, but he is not, it's just word salad, verbal diarrhea coming out of his mouth. I'm at the point with him where I can honestly say Justin Trudeau was a way better speaker or a way better person at the podium that could lie. It flowed off Justin's tongue much easier than Mark Carney's tongue. This guy he's a complete and utter train wreck. He is not putting forth any validation for why he's taking these trips abroad. And you can imagine with his security detail and his Airbus, it's a twin-engine giant airliner. You can only imagine the cost of this and where he stays, like his hotel accommodations, his food, and like what's it cost to fly him somewhere? $1 million all in, paying all the security professionals that travel with him. And anyhow, it's the travel is not paying dividends. He has not conclusively put forth anything that would put the Canadian taxpayer at ease that he's actually getting a return on our investment when he's traveling overseas. Obviously Trump has no time for the guy. He treats him like he's a preschooler. So I don't know what his business was in Mexico when he's asked this. He just says he's over there. He's strengthening political ties. He's trying to set up obviously trade. That's what he says, and trade infrastructures, but he's not giving any specifics. So I don't know. And last week he met with a delegation from China. I think it was last Tuesday, and he's saying that he's going to be meeting with Xi Jinping, the president of China, as soon as he can. So you can see the direction that he wants to. Well, he said that he's told the Canadian people that he's going in a different direction, as the United States being Canada's #1 trading partner and ally. I don't know how he's going to do that. I don't know how we're going to replace the United States as a trading partner. It's impossible. But he's setting the stage. So there's a line drawn in the sand between Canada and the United States. Obviously, people up here know that. People in the States know that. And Donald Trump certainly knows that. And his ambassador, the U.S. ambassador to Canada, certainly knows that. That guy he's a bulldog. He, at every chance that the mainstream media puts him on, he's backing Trump. And he's backing Trump heavy. And he's saying things that it's not good for our country. And, I don't blame him. He's serving the best interests of his country. And that's good. I wish we had someone like that, but we do not. So, Keir Starmer announces the digital ID and all the ramifications that will snowball into, central bank digital currency, social credit score. I went over that in my last video. So, Mark Carney was asked if that's a possibility in Canada, and he danced around that, and he hemmed and hawed, and he... more word salad, more verbal diarrhea, you're not answering the question, skirting the question. And then he kind of half-heartedly said, well, not at this time. So you can rest assured that is going to be rolled out here as soon as possible. Now, they use it under the guise that it will track the immigration better. It'll make people that are in the country illegally, it will bring them to the forefront. Where I think, and a lot of people think, that the digital ID will make it easier for illegal immigration to become citizens, or at the very least, legal voters. So now you come from an impoverished third world country or a war-torn country, and you're brought in under the Liberal government, and you're gonna, I would say 9 times out of 10, you're gonna hold loyalty to the people that got you out of the problem that you came out of. A lot of these countries from around the world, compared to our beautiful country, is a living nightmare. So when they come here, it doesn't matter if they have $5 in their pocket. It's like they won the lottery. And I'm not saying they have $5 in their pocket. They get a lot, upwards of $3,200 a month. I've been instructed. They get a lot of money. So I know it costs a lot to live here. $3,200 a month isn't a lot, but if you come from a country you have nothing, that's a lot. You're living in a friggin' dirt hole, in a mud shack. Yeah, you're doing better here. So I think it's going to streamline the immigration to make them become naturalized citizens, landed immigrant, whatever. I don't know. It's not in the benefit of our country. We gotta push back against the digital ID because of all the negative ramifications that come with that. So, yeah, Monday, September the 29th in Toronto. And I'm not getting a good feeling about this, the way this world's going. And we'll find out tomorrow with regards to that big military meeting, if that's just all smoke and mirrors. And also, I forgot to mention in my last video, it could be the streamlining of the U.S. military, the upper brass. A lot of people could be getting their pink slips or walking notice, so to speak, with regards to high-level military. That's a possibility too, but we'll see. If you want to, well, you don't even have to watch my last video. It's out there. Obviously, people that watch my videos and watch this kind of content, they're not getting breaking news from me, so to speak. It's just I try to put a spin on it from a Canadian perspective. Been here my whole life, and from more specifically a Toronto perspective. And yeah, that's where it's at. So anyhow, I'm out for a ride this morning, and the leaves are starting to change. Nice down here. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.